Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to For the Love of Crafting and Sharing, a monthly YouTube collab between a bunch of crafty YouTubers where we share our love of scrapbooking and we also share the love with different people who are in the scrapbooking world and different things that are part of the scrapbooking world. And today's episode, or this month's episode, we are sharing the love with a company, and that would be the Scraproom Kit Club. Several of the ladies in our group of YouTubers are either associated with them in that they've been on the design team, or they are on the design team, or they go to the Scraproom crops that happen in the Vegas area. So this month we are doing the different prompts that the Scraproom offers every month. I am going to be doing the Freaky Fast Friday formula for June 2020. This is a really cool idea. I actually have subscribed to the Scraproom a couple different times throughout my scrapbooking time. I once scrapbooked to their main kit, and then I also scrapbooked to their Doubleshot kit, which is their smaller kit. One of the things that the Scraproom is really good at is for people who do double pages, because what they give you is either the main kit is 4 different lines, and then the Doubleshot kit is 2 different lines. So you can do 4, you can do 2, you can get both and get 6. They have other add-ons and stuff. And I don't want this to be an advertisement for the Scraproom, but it is a really good kit if you like double pages, but it's also very good if you like single pages. You just get more bang for your bucks, so to speak. So anyway, to make a short story long, I'm going to be using one of their monthly challenges, and that is the Freaky Fast Friday challenge. And this is a really good way to just get started when you have fear of the first cut. When you get a new collection or you get a new kit and it's also pretty and amazing and lovely and oh, how can I cut into that paper? This is a really good way to just go ahead and do it, and that way your first cuts are already done and you can just move on and actually scrapbook. So what you do is you choose a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper or cardstock for your base. I'm reading this right here. And then cut pieces of paper into these specific shapes. So a 5 by 12, 5 inch by 12 inch, a 3 inch by 9 inch, a 2.5 by 3 inch, a 1.5 by 9 inch, I'm sorry, a 1/2 inch by 9 inch, and a 1/2 inch by 3 inch. Now, obviously, if you are not someone who measures, this may not be a good challenge for you. I am not normally one who measures, but sometimes it's good to stretch yourself. So I'm going to be using this formula to make a layout about myself. Now, what I did is I knew Bloom Street had to have been a part of the Scraproom at some point, because it was a part of every kit club, and it was. And so what I did was I went and chose, basically in the sense of the papers, several of the ones that they had. So I chose this one with the multicolored hearts. Sorry, these are upside down. I forgot they switched to the top. This one with all of the words and little hearts, and then the little leafy things on the back on the light blue. And then this side is the arrows on the tone-on-tone aqua and teal. I did not have the big floral that they had in the original kit, so I chose this floral, which I did have, and this one has a watercolor background. Now, just in case you're wondering, why did I choose Bloom Street? Bloom Street is a line I recently picked up. I have not touched it, so I wanted to go ahead and break into it, and I thought using the Freaky Fast Friday formula for June 2020 would be a perfect way to do that. Also, as part of the paper kit for this, there was a piece of pink cardstock. So I chose from the Simple Stories Color Vibe collection this color of bubblegum. There were also some white cardstock, but I knew if I was going to use cardstock, I really wanted to use a colored cardstock and not a white cardstock. I did not stick with the Scraproom kit for the embellishments because really I was just using this for the idea of using it for the paper. So I just have all of the, I have 2 sticker sheets from Bloom Street. I also pulled in these stars from Pink Fresh Studio, the mix, and then also these enamel dots from Freckled Fawn, and then I pulled in a couple of alphas as well for my title. So I'm going to go ahead, choose which papers I'm going to choose for my my cuts, and then I think, you know what, I think I'm going to choose my cuts live during this part, and then I will go ahead and cut. So I think rather than have cardstock be the back piece, I'm going to actually choose this watercolor piece to be my back piece. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim off the branding strip, and then this is going to be my back piece. Now, is this 1/2 inch? It is 1/2 inch. So I think I'll use that as one of my 1/2 inchers since I'm not going to be able to use that piece of paper. Unless, you know what, there's actually a big enough piece, I think, to cover it that I might be able to gut the center part. So what I usually like to do when I've done this in the past is start with the biggest piece of paper, and that is the 5x12. And I think the 5x12, I'm going to make this pink piece of paper. So I'm going to just cut 5 inches out of this, and I don't know how I'll end up doing it, but that's what it's going to be. And then we've got 3x9, and we already have the 1/2 by 9 inches. So let me just cut 3 inches off of this. So now I've got the 1/2 by 9 inch. There we go. And then I will probably choose another for the 1/2 by 3 inch. What I think I'll actually do is choose this one with the words. Except I'll flip it over. And then choose 3 inches where we have dream together, love, rise and shine, celebrate, laugh, I'm wall. So let's see. What is 3 inches? 2 to 5. Oh, I think I like shine, celebrate, laugh. So it might not be exactly 3 inches. Yeah, it's more like 4. We're gonna cheat. That's okay. But I like that shine, celebrate, laugh. And we'll just get rid of that. All right, let's see. So we have, whoopsie. Whoop. So we've got the 5x12, the 1/2 inch by 9, the 1/2 inch by 3. So now we just need the 3x9 and the 2.5 by 3. So I think I'm going to do the small 2.5 by 3 with this piece of paper. So we'll do 3. And then by 2.5. So it's a teeny piece of paper. And then we have the 3 inches by 9. So I think I'm going to do this heart paper, but I think I'm going to do it this way so I get the multiple colors. because I've got a lot of tone on tone happening. So obviously I will cut off the branding strip, and then I will cut three inches. And what I'm actually going to do is trim off the top because I've got an awful lot of pink going on already. So 9 inches, so we will trim off 3 inches because Rachel can do math. Sometimes, occasionally. All right, so I've got all of my papers cut, so I'm going to go ahead, get you put on fast forward, but you can see how quick that went. That, you know, obviously I was doing it in real time. I was just making decisions. So all of the papers are now cut, and now I just need to put them together with my photos and embellishments and go ahead and make this page. Just a couple things before I get you put on fast forward. First, all of the other YouTubers who are doing this hop, all of their videos, links to their actual videos for this are in the description box below. Also showing love to another scrapbooking store, small business, is the My Little Scrapbook Store had an online crop. I was one of the live demonstrators of just how to put together a scrapbook page, and I am joining in and doing a bunch of the challenges, and one of the challenges is to scrapbook photos of yourself. So that is something I definitely wanted to do. And so now that I've nattered on for quite a long time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, oh, also don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Guys, I am sorry. This has been a crazy day for me. I probably should have waited, but I really wanted to scrapbook. And since I've got the energy, I am going to do it by gosh darn. But even though it's been a bit nutty here, if you could still flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. All right, folks, let's get going. Okay, so I think the intro to this video is actually longer than the actual putting together of all the supplies. Because as you see, I've got my 2 photos, I've got my 5x12, I've got my 9x3, my 9x1.5, I'm listing all the numbers now, I don't think I need to do that. And with the last placement of this paper, I pretty much have the main layout for what I'm going to do. I mean, obviously I'm going to embellish, but other than that, my layout is pretty set already. So you see, by taking that formula and taking those 4 minutes and 32 seconds, that's how long it took me to cut out my pages, it really just helped me have a page be done. So I'm going ahead, getting things glued down. I do end up gluing down a couple of things a little bit lower than I meant to. It's no big deal. I am going to add a lot of embellishments to this layout. For those of you who have been following me for the past couple of weeks, and I don't mean to keep talking about it. It's just one of those things where currently it's pretty much all that's on my mind. So I was recently diagnosed with cancer. Second time I was diagnosed with cancer. As I was actually looking for another photo, I found the photo that I'm not working with, the photo that's over on the right-hand side that's got darker. That was the photo I took of myself 10 years ago when, just so you know, normally I have naturally curly hair, and it normally rests about 2 to 3 inches below my shoulders. One suggestion they have when you're about to have chemotherapy and you're going to lose your hair is that you cut it short, because when it does start falling out, it's less horrifying. So I did that last time. You see I cut it to just about ear length. This time, the photo that's on the bottom, that's actually a photo I took last week. My housemate happens to be a hairdresser, so I was able to get my hair cut at my house. So I went much shorter. Because after I had chemotherapy and my hair came back, it came back much thinner. So I no longer have as curly hair as I used to. So Let's actually talk about the layout. So I have pulled out these two alphas to use as my title, the Silver Glitter Fitzgerald, but I decided I wanted a little shelf for that, and I actually found that same navy floral from the branding strip that I used at the bottom of the page, so I thought that was a nice symmetrical top to bottom. And then what I'm going to do is add a that floral piece, and that letter C did not want to work. It wanted to be super duper wonky. And then I'm going to choose the pink. It's a pink holographic cardboard on top of foam, which happens to be my absolute favorite style of thicker, with the chipboard, so you get the shiny, but you get the stickiness of the foam. So I'm adding a lot of embellishments. I'm trying to convey a point of, yes, this is something I'm going through. Yes, it is a trial, but I will get through it, and trying to get through it with as much grace and humor as I can, because no matter what, I'm going to have to go through this, but I might as well try to go through it without feeling awful about it. And that does not mean I don't have my moments. I absolutely do. I have setbacks. I get a lot of, if you've ever had a serious medical problem, it's a lot of hurry up and wait, and a lot of, oh, we can't do that right now. We're going to have to do this first. And the schedule you thought was set in stone is no longer set in stone. And it can get frustrating, and it can get obnoxious, and you can get upset, and just trying to remember to keep it together. So I'm using uplifting phrases. I'm using things I really like. Like, I like holographic things. I like those floral things. I like the floral clusters of stickers. I use the larger ones from the cardstock stickers, and then the smaller one from the little sticker booklet. I like enamel dots. I like butterflies, remind me of my mom. Hummingbirds remind me of my grandmothers. So I'm going to use both of those. I'm going to draw some lines on the pink cardstock, and I'm going to cut ahead from that. I'm not going to be doing my journaling while I'm videotaping this. It's on the more personal side, even though I'm trying to keep it lighter in this particular layout, talking about obviously a more superficial, vain item having to do with hair. But, you know, a lot of times we as human beings, we as, well, not all of us are women, obviously, but we put a lot of stock by our hair and how our hair looks and how we're dressed and how that makes us feel as women, how it makes us feel as humans, as adults. You know, we get to make the decisions about our hair and stuff like that. So when you do lose it due to illness, you know, it can affect you. So I did want to talk about stuff like that. But as I said, it's going to be on the more personal side, so I'm not going to put it on the YouTube video. And I'm not necessarily going to specifically talk about what I wrote. Now, that rainbow heart that matches the rainbow heart paper, that sticker was my absolute favorite embellishment from this line. So I definitely wanted to use it on this layout. I then added another one of those strips down at the bottom from the sticker booklet, and then I added a scalloped one up at the top. As I said, this is heavily embellished. I really wanted to go over the top with this. I like that embellishment strip down at the bottom, but I'm looking for something to lay across it because it's just, everything is very horizontal at the moment. So I'm looking at both the sticker booklet and the cardstock stickers, trying to figure out what to use, what's going to be too big, too small, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I decide on that purple pansy. I then add a couple more of the pansies from the cardstock stickers. Pansies happen to be one of my favorite flowers, along with hyacinths, in case you're wondering. I'm sorry, not hyacinths, hydrangeas. Oh, Lord, I'm losing words. All right. I am almost finished here. I'm going to add some Sweetheart Shimmers paint. I actually at that point think I'm done, but then I remembered I had wanted to add the dates to both photos. One was taken in 2010, one was taken in 2020. So even though I did goodbye hands, I am back again with these Webster's Pages mini tile alphas, and I'm going to, as I said, add the word numbers 2010 to the upper photo and 2020 to the lower photo. That will complete my layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Sorry for all the nattering on this particular video. Please make sure you head into the description box and check out all of the other ladies' videos for the June for the love of crafting and sharing. And if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.